good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the time maybe you are watching this video. Let us welcome you all to this channel, Future Endeavors, devoted to science and to all of you. So this is a channel that belongs to all of you. So I think you are quite enjoying our videos, and I am very heartfully paying thanks to all those who are supporting our video and inspiring us to post more videos like this. Now today we will continue with the previous topic. In the previous lecture we have uploaded the measurements chapter, which is a part of the class 9 syllabus. So let us continue from the last part. In the previous class we have discussed the very basics of measurement. What is the definition of measurement? What do we measure? What do you mean by a physical quantity? What are the types of physical quantity? The very basic things I have discussed. And if I remember, we have discussed in the last what is meant by fundamental physical quantities, and I have also given you a list of 7 plus 2 additional, total of 9 fundamental physical quantities. Apart from these 9 fundamental physical quantities, all the other physical quantities that you encounter in your daily life belongs to the second type of physical quantities, that is derived physical quantity. So we will today start our discussion with derived physical quantities. Derived physical quantities. So this is the topic that we are going to start. So as I have discussed, I think you have all remembered what is fundamental physical quantity. Those physical quantities that are independent of other physical quantities, they are self-dependent. So those kind of physical quantities were referred to as fundamental physical quantities. Now from that point of view, I can say derived physical quantities. What are these physical quantities, or how can you define them? We can define derived physical quantities as those physical quantities which actually depend on the fundamental physical quantities. So I can define it as the physical quantities that depend on one or more fundamental quantities are referred to as derived physical quantities. Let us take some example. As I mentioned that fundamental physical quantity, if you have remembered, I have mentioned 7 plus 2 additional, total of 9 fundamental physical quantities. Other than those 9 fundamental physical quantities, if I think all the other physical quantities are derived in nature. Now let us take one example. I hope you have noted this, that the physical quantities that depend on one or more fundamental quantities are referred to as derived physical quantities. Now if I take an example of this derived physical quantity, let us take an example so that it is easier for you to understand. I will give you the example of speed. You have all heard about this quantity called the speed. So if I talk of what is speed, I can say that speed is, as you all know by the formula, speed is the distance covered by the time taken. Now if you remember distance, as I mentioned in the previous class, I think you can all understand that distance is a kind of length. And as I have mentioned that length is a fundamental physical quantity, so this distance, or I can also write length, okay, I can also write length. So length is a fundamental physical quantity. time is a fundamental physical quantity. So speed is expressed as a combination of these two fundamental physical quantities. That is why speed is referred to as derived physical quantity. I hope it is clear to you all that as we are expressing speed as a combination of two fundamental physical quantities, here those are the length and time. Both these are fundamental physical quantities, if you remember. So speed can be referred to as a derived physical quantity. Fine. Let us take another example. Let us take another example of derived physical quantity. Let us take another example. All of you have heard about density. I hope density, you know what is density. It is the mass per unit volume. Mass divided by the volume of the substance gives you the density of that particular substance. So you see density. Now in this expression, you know that mass is actually a fundamental physical quantity. Mass, as you know, mass is a fundamental physical quantity. Now what about volume? This volume is again a derived quantity. So I can write volume equals to length into breadth into height. This is a general formula of volume. So if I think of length, breadth, height, all these are actually lengths. So these three are fundamental physical quantities. Length, breadth or height, any of these three are fundamental physical quantity. Now a combination of these three gives you volume. So volume is obviously derived physical quantity which depends on these three fundamental quantities: length, breadth, volume, length, breadth and height. So I can write density equals to mass by length, breadth, height. If I suppose take a cuboidal shaped body, then obviously volume will be length, breadth into height. Now mass is a fundamental physical quantity, length is a fundamental physical quantity, breadth, height are also fundamental physical quantities. So density can be regarded as a combination of these fundamental physical quantities. Hence density is also what we call a derived physical quantity. So I think by now it is very much clear to you what are the two kinds of physical quantities. One is the fundamental physical quantity, another one is the derived physical quantity. Okay, fine. Now let us move on to the next topic. So I think you have noted it down and also it is clear to you all by now. Let us move on to the next topic. What is the next topic? Let us see. Okay. Next we will talk of units. In the very first class I have shown you that physical quantities consist of two parts. One is the magnitude and the other one is the unit. Till now we have not discussed anything about unit. Now we are going to discuss about what is unit. So let us see. So make your heading unit and its systems. There are various system of units. Okay, slowly I will discuss one by one. First let us come to what is unit. I think I have mentioned this about in the previous class, that what is unit. I have given the definition there, that unit is a standard quantity. With which you compare a quantity of the same kind. I have given you some examples in the previous class. I hope if you have not seen the previous class, you may just see it. I think it will be pretty much clear to you what is unit. Now these units have some definite system. So some of the commonly used system of units are, so if I see some of the commonly used systems of units are, one is the say FPS system. Okay, FPS system. What does this FPS means? FPS means F referred to as the length of unit of length, foot. We still use it in some measurements, especially in our household measurements. Height of a person are all measured in foot. So F refers foot. Then comes P, means pound. Sometimes when we go to the shop and ask for a cake, we mention the mass of that cake in terms of pounds. Say we say half pound cake or a 1 pound cake. Also we use this term pound in case of bread, half pound bread, 1 pound bread. Okay, and S refers to as, S is referred to as the second, the unit of time. So this is one system of unit where you measure length in foot, measure mass in pound, and measure time in second. This is one kind of unit. Second comes CGS. Second is the CGS unit. CGS, what does this mean? CGS, here we measure the length in terms of centimeter. Okay, we measure mass in terms of gram and time in terms of second. So this is the CGS unit, centimeter, gram and second. Now another commonly used unit is the third one, MKS system. MKS. So in MKS we measure the length in terms of meter, mass in terms of kilogram, okay, and time in terms of again second. So this is the MKS. Now you see, in this various system of units that we have mentioned, we are only referring to these three fundamental physical quantity: length, mass and time. Length, mass and time. We have not gone beyond this. Now as you have to measure various other things, not only you have to measure only length, mass or time, maybe these three units are the most commonly used units, fine, but other than this also you need to sometimes measure the temperature of a body. In some cases you have to measure the current flowing through the wires in our house. So for those various kinds of measurements, we need a broader system of units where all those units, all those physical quantities would be included. This is one of the reasons why an international system of unit has come into existence. This is one of the reasons that other than these three units, there are also many other forms of systems of units, but nowadays what we use is the SI system of units. What is the system called? SI system of units. SI system of units. In this SI system of units, we have assigned all the 9 fundamental physical quantities, their respective units. And why this is referred to as the SI? This is an international system of units which has been accepted by scientists and physicists all over the world. Wherever you go, if you use this system of units, it is always correct, always accepted in every calculations, in every experiments, in every theoretical studies. Now so let us see, this system of units has actually been derived in a conference which took place in France. From then, on an agreemental basis, all the scientists of the major countries agreed that they would be using this standard international system of units for the measurements that are of international or of national interests. Okay, so let us see what are the SI units assigned to the 9 fundamental physical quantities. So let us see. So first fundamental physical quantity was, I think, mass. So the SI unit of mass is kg. Second one, mass. Second one was length. SI unit of length is, okay, I am writing the full form as well as the short form, then it will be easier for you to memorize. Mass is kilogram, short form used is kg. Length is meter, short form used is small m. Length, mass. Third is time. Time as used on those previous unit system of units, it is also same here, seconds. Fourth is temperature. 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 So temperature is Kelvin. Kelvin. Capital K. Okay, capital K. Fifth one, what is the fifth one? Let us see. What is the fifth one? Fifth one was, I think all of you have remembered. Fifth one was, I think, current. So in case of current, we use the SI unit ampere, written by, denoted by capital A. Sixth one was the luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. The unit, SI unit assigned is candela. Candela, short form is CD, not compact disc but candela. And the seventh one, I think all of you have remembered, was the amount of substance. Amount of substance. Amount of substance. Here we have used the unit assigned is mole. So note short form. In short we write MOL. So it is rather not a short form. You may use that MOLE, mole. So these are the 7 fundamental physical quantity as you know, and their respective SI units. Mass is kilogram, length is meter, time is second, temperature is Kelvin, current is ampere, luminous intensity is candela, and the seventh, but the last one is the amount of substance, mole. As you have remembered, there were other two fundamental quantity which are referred to as the supplementary fundamental quantity. So what are the SI units assigned to those physical quantity? Let us see. I think all of you have noted it down. If not, so please pause the video and note down it. Okay, I am erasing it off. So what are the units assigned to the supplementary fundamental physical quantity? Let us see. So supplementary fundamental physical quantity, okay, so supplementary fundamental physical quantity, there were two, I think, if you have remembered it correctly. The eighth one, if I say, was the angle, and the ninth one was the solid angle. So these are the two supplementary fundamental physical quantities. Angle, as you know, although we very commonly measure angle in terms of degree, but the SI unit assigned is not degree, it is radian. In short, it is written as RD. And for solid angle, it is steradian. Steradian, STRD. Okay, so these are the fundamental physical quantities and their respective SI units. If I think you might be curious to know what is the relation between the radian and degree. So if I am just stating the relationship between the two units, radian and degree, I can write 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Just remember this relation. 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Using this relation you can convert any angle measured in degree to radians. So if I think of, so what will be the value of 60 degree in terms of radian? So 60 degree means you are dividing 180 by 3, so it will be pi by 3 radians. So this is the relation between the two units radian and degree. I think till now it is all clear to you, the system of units used and the SI units assigned to those various fundamental quantities. Okay, fine. Now see, in case of measurements we use various prefix and suffixes. So what are those prefix and suffixes? Now see, if I say I use various prefix and suffixes used in measurement, what are those? Let us see. Say, when I say that you want to measure the length of a size of a bacteria, if you measure it in terms of meter, it will be very small quantity. You have to mention it as 0.000000 something meter, so it is quite difficult. So we do not use meter while measuring the size of a bacteria. Instead, what we may use, another sub unit of meter, which is called micrometer. Now you will be thinking, what is the relationship between the micrometer and meter? So I can say 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Okay, likewise, if I say I want to measure the mass of the earth, we generally measure mass of certain objects in terms of kilogram, but if you want to measure the mass of earth, so if we use kilogram, we have to write a huge number. So we do not measure the mass of earth in terms of kilogram. Rather, we may use, instead of using kilogram, we may use some other higher units. These are the micrometer, as I said, is a sub unit. We can use a multiple unit, a higher multiple unit of kilogram. So gram is the basic unit. Now kilogram, as I say, 1 kilogram is 10 to the power 3 gram. Instead of measuring the mass of earth in kilogram, we can use, using kilogram, we can use as you use in our daily, like the memory of a computer. What do you use? We that use GB, MB, isn't it? Mega, giga. So if I say that I will measure the mass of earth in megagram, okay, so that I just use a prefix m, mega, and then gram. Okay, so 1 megagram, as I can say, is actually 10 to the power 6 grams, or you can say that it is 10 to the power 3 kilogram. From this relationship you can easily understand. Like this, we use various submultiples and multiples of the various units to measure various objects. Like you see, when you want to measure the length of a road, you don't say it in meters, we say it in, say, kilometer. We want to measure the distance of the road from, say, Kolkata to Delhi. We do not use the unit meter, rather we use the unit kilometer. So in this way, for using various kinds, for measuring various things, we use various units and subunits of the various units. So I will in the next class continue with this topic and give you all a chart giving the relationship between the various units and subunits. Okay, so till then we will end our class here. On the next class we will discuss about the order of magnitude and give you some basic concepts about the units, about the terms like light year and all those. Okay, so till then we would like to end our class. Please do remember to subscribe our channel, press the bell icon to get further video uploads, and please do like our videos, share our videos as much as possible, and also mention any query in the comment section. Also you can mail it in the registered mail ID if you have any problem or if you have any confusion about these topics. Also you can mention the topic that you want to discuss next. Okay, so thank you. Till then, bye bye.